Okay, this is going to be a quick tutorial about how to set up your InDesign document. You're just going to go to File, New, Document. Number of pages is 2, and the start page is 2. The reason you want to do 2 pages is, or the start page number 2 is because you want to see a left and a right page at the same time. When 2 pages are facing you, that's called a spread, and that's what we want to do here. We want to see that. And the margins, instead of 3, we're going to drop that down to 1.5. Okay. The P stands for pica. It's an old school. It's a unit of measurement used in a lot of design places for putting pages together. I think that's it. So press OK. You're going to come up. This is your left page or your even page. This is your right page or your odd page, the odd numbers, right? Anything within the purple margin should be a safe zone, so that means that you're sure that it's going to be printed well. You want to make sure, for instance, if you put a giant T and you have that floating out there, there's a possibility that whatever's above that purple line might be cut off, and that's why you want to keep those kinds of things. Anything that has to be printed correctly, put it inside of the purple margins. That's the trim line where they cut the book. This is the gutter. So the gutter, you don't want to put letters, because that T could look weird inside of there, and you don't want to put faces of the dominant people in your photo. It'll warp their photos. It'll warp their faces in there. You don't want to do that. And then the one more thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Window, View, Grids and Guides, Show Document Grid. Now this looks like messy at first, but don't be afraid. It's a way for us to be able to create our documents in a modular format and kind of keep accurate spaces between each element. Each one of these boxes is called a pica, and for what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing 1 pica spacing inside of mods and 4 picas to separate the mods from each other. All right, and I'll show you kind of what that means. So for instance, if I go and use the rectangle tool to create a text box or a photo box here, and I want to put another photo right here, I can't just go like randomly do that, because this is what, 2.5 picas away. Our design rules say that within the same mod you have to use 1 pica between these 2 elements. All right, so if you put anything right here, it should only be 1 pica away. All right, you want to make sure that that's accurate. So the next thing, let's say I want to do another smaller picture right here. I'm going to do it like this. So you have exactly 1 pica between this element, between that element, between that element. And if I was going to do like some kind of caption or something there, it would only be 1 pica away from both up here and right here. All right. And when you're separating mods, so let's say that's 1 mod, and we have a headline, which will also be 1 pica away. We're going to go all the way across. We're going to make that go to the top of the line. It's 1 pica away. That means it's the same mod. This is 1 mod. And we're going to say headline, 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 headline. All right, yeah, I'm getting really creative here, right? So now, that's at the bottom of that line. When we're placing the next mod, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to build our next picture or our next element right there. And we want to be very accurate, okay? Let's just change it up a little bit. There's a little bit of space right there. We want to make sure the lines line up. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when readers look at this, they know that this is an element separated. This is a different element down here. Let's say there's a story, so we're going to place the story. Let's give room for a headline right there. It's going to go to the edge of the page. You can go to type, fill with placeholder text. And we're going to do another headline right there. We're going to do it within 1 pica between each element, between here and there. And we're going to go headline, headline, headline. Now, of course, I'm choosing fonts that are really boring, and click up like that. Fill the space. See, I'm going to have to choose a different font and all that stuff, but that's about what we wanted. So we'd have to have a short, punchy headlines right here. So that's 1 mod. This is another mod. This is probably too big of a picture for that. but you can kind of get the drift. So what you need to do is you just need to play around, really. You could put boxes down, different places, use the selection tool to move things around. If you go to the edge, select one, go to the edge, it changes the way it goes. You don't want to do that too much, very sparingly or for a specific purpose. And kind of play around with that for a few minutes, just to kind of get the gist of it. Because really, this is all InDesign is. You can go to the text tool, draw a big box, type, fill with placeholder text. You can mess with the different fonts.